so today we're going to be making another craft video. We're going to be making some origami. You can either choose to make an origami dinosaur or you can choose to make an origami crane. The beginning steps are exactly the same, which is why I'm going to be making two in this one video. Okay, yay! So crane and dinosaur. To make today's craft, all you're going to need is a piece of paper. It doesn't really matter what size. It could be printer piece of paper. Maybe you already have some origami paper. They could be any size. Maybe you even have a newspaper. I'm gonna show you guys how you can make a square using even just printer paper. And let's get started. So here is just my copy paper. What I'm gonna do is take this corner and bring it to the edge of the paper so that this top edge that I'm folding down and the bottom edge lines up. So I'm gonna make sure that the edges are lined up. And I'm also gonna make sure that my corner is also lined up with just one point. So it looks like everything's about lined up here. Now I'm gonna start creasing this side. So I'm gonna push down on the fold. One huge thing for origami that I've noticed is that if you fold down your creases really well, when you make your origami shape, it's going to be a lot easier. So now this is a step. Maybe you want to take some scissors if it's a little bit hard to just cut using your hands, but Miss Beck is actually going to be using my hands. So the way to do that, I'm going to fold it back. And I'm actually gonna do a similar thing. I'm gonna try to make a fold here that matches the edge of the paper. So one good way to do that is if you look at the corner, if it looks like it makes a good right angle. I know Miss Beck's class have learned that right before we left. The corner of the paper is a right angle. And so now, again, like I said, my tip for everyone is to really make these creases, the folds, really push down on them. And I'm just gonna flip it over and make the same fold. I'm just gonna push it down. And now you can tell that there's one straight line. I'm gonna put a finger down on one page and I'm just gonna start ripping. And because I made the crease and I push down on the fold really well, it's easy to rip. But if you guys are struggling, just take a pair of scissors. Please ask for help if you need it. But I'm gonna put that to the side. This piece of paper we don't need. Either recycle it or maybe make something else with it. I'm gonna push it here. Now I have my square piece of paper. There's already one fold. So now I'm gonna take and flip it over so that I can make a fold going horizontal. So again, key is I'm gonna match my points first. And then I'm gonna make sure that the edges are all matched up. And then this side as well. And it seems like they are. Now I'm gonna push down. Again, my corners are well lined up. Other corner, third corner. And I'm gonna push it down. So now I have one fold going this way and one fold going this way. Now I want to get a fold also like across. So I'm gonna flip it to the side. And I'm going to just make that fold. And again, I'm making sure everything is lined up. My corners are lined up. I'm gonna push it down. And then when I open it, I'm gonna see another line and I'm gonna flip it to the side. And you can already tell we want one more line right here. And making sure my corners are well matched up. I'm just gonna push it down. So once you open it back up, we see that the paper kind of folds in. We're actually gonna flip that over so that the fold comes upwards. And you can tell if you folded it really well and matched it up, it meets at one point right here. So now this part's a little bit tricky, but if you folded everything and pushed it down hard, it won't be too hard. You're gonna grab the two sides. So not from the corners, you're gonna grab from the edges. And we have this fold here, and I'm just gonna kind of pinch it in. And as I pinch it in, all my folds, and you can see it on the video, all my folds are coming together. And again, I know it's a little bit hard. I'm going to flip it downwards, especially to show you guys. I have one square on my table, and my finger is still on the pinch, and I'm just gonna push everything down. And honestly, guys, that was really easy because Miss Beck folded, and I'm pushing down all my creases really well, and so it kind of just folded on its own. Okay, so now you have a smaller square. The part where there's a flap should be facing down. The part with your point should be up. So now I'm going to take one of the flaps, and we already still see and we see this line in the middle. I'm gonna take this corner and edge and line it up right to the middle. So I'm gonna make sure all of this edge is lined up to this middle crease that we made. So I'm gonna take that edge, make sure it's lined up perfectly. And again, it's important to push down the sides. And I'm gonna do the same thing. The line is right here. I want to match up this edge to the middle. Bring it in. And then I'm going to push down on my creases. I'm going to do the same exact thing on the other side. So here's my line and here's my edge. So after you guys folded each side, you should go back and just crease the lines one more time. And now I'm gonna take this top and I'm gonna fold it. Again, there's a line here, right? There's a line here. I'm just gonna fold it so the other paper doesn't crease and it's just right on this invisible line here. Imagine that there's a line up here. I'm just gonna fold it down, crease it. Just gonna make the fold, and then I'm actually going to unfold it, flip it over, and I'm gonna do the same exact thing. So now I have a shape that looks like this. It doesn't matter which side you start on. You're gonna then open up one side. So it looks like this. We see all of our different lines and creases that we made. I'm gonna open it up, and you see this line here. I'm going to just start pushing up, and just like I said, when we make those folds really well, it kind of already creates this type of shape on its own. I'm just kind of enforcing the lines. Okay, and we want it to fold coming inside. So once we have this type of shape, I'm going to start pushing on this one side. I'm gonna push down on the other side. And it kind of leaves me something like this. Again, if your paper is folding to the inside, I'm just gonna pop it back up. And you can see that there's a line in here. This just pops up. And I'm just gonna flatten it down. I'm gonna flip it to the back, and now I'm gonna do the same exact thing. I'm gonna open everything up. I have all my lines. I'm going to make sure that I fold at that line, and then the shape starts coming together. I'm gonna crease the bottom, and again, if it goes in and kind of dents, just push it back out. And so I folded the bottom, and the top should just come on its own. So now I have a shape like this. Now what you're gonna do, and the flap part comes down here, I'm gonna fold one side down. I know we've been doing everything the same to each side, but I'm only gonna fold one side down. I'm going to then flip it. So I have it like this. I'm gonna flip it to this side so that the small triangle is on this side. And I'm gonna turn it over. Now we have a shape like this. And again, the part that splits is on this side to my right. And then the one single side is to my left. If you look right in this middle part, there's another line that we folded before. I'm going to take this flap and try to match this bottom edge to this middle line. So this edge to the middle line. So I'll show you guys again. It looks like this. I'm gonna take this side and match up this bottom edge to the middle line. And again, I'm just gonna fold it down really well. I have something like this now. And you're supposed to have something, a little part sticking out here. So it should look like this. Now I'm actually gonna unfold it and I'm gonna flip it 180. So I'm gonna flip it 180. And I'm gonna do the same exact thing. Even though I have a fold here, I'm gonna do the same exact thing. I'm gonna take this bottom edge and try to match it to this middle line. So I'm taking the bottom edge and I'm trying to match it to this middle line. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to open my shape. I'm gonna flip it back this way. So again, the split part is on my right side. And I'm going to start grabbing and folding this middle part here and just give it a little crease. And then I'm actually gonna take this longer half and make a fold coming in. So I'm gonna be matching this edge to this edge coming in. And as you do that, you notice that my top fold that we just made, that little triangle, it comes in on its own. And we're just gonna fold it down. We have a shape like this. So we have this shape here. Again, I'm just gonna fold everything down one more time. What you're gonna then do is you're gonna take the top corner. This is like the neck of our dinosaur. We're gonna take this top piece and we're gonna build a head. I'm going to take the corner, and it doesn't really matter where you do it. I might put my thumb here and then just fold it in. I wanna make sure that this line here is parallel to this line here. So that means if I put a piece of paper here and then a piece of paper right at this edge, when I move these two pieces of paper, they should never touch. They're just going in two parallel lines. So I'm gonna make this crease, and then I'm actually gonna unfold the crease and I'm gonna flip it. And we see that crease that we just made from the other side. I'm gonna enforce that and flip it to this side and give it a nice little push down. And now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna kind of open it up. Just gonna kind of open it up so that it's not too stiff. And this might look confusing, but again, once you push down the folds, it kind of just does it for you. Do you see that little point here? I'm gonna take my thumb and my index finger, and my index finger is kind of inside here, inside that little piece. And my thumb is right out here. I'm gonna kind of, let's hold the neck. I'm gonna try to flip it inside out. And look, even mine looks kind of funky, but we have the folds. Once you flip it, the folds are going to just fold on over almost on its own. We just have to help push it down. So now we're almost there. The next step is we're kind of gonna do the same thing of pushing it inside out. I'm gonna take this point and I'm going to just push it in to that head, inside. So now I have my dinosaur head. Now we're gonna start making the arms. These are gonna be my little arms. If you look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 different edges, but you can see that there's a big middle. I'm going to put my thumb in that middle part. I'm gonna hold the top, and I'm actually going to fold it down. So it kind of looks like this. There's like if you can kind of see a square with the line in the middle. I'll do that again. I'm gonna fold it down. And I'm not gonna push it in all the way. I'm actually gonna let it stick out just a little bit. Just like that. So now my dinosaur has small little arms. And now let's start making the legs. What you're gonna do is, you notice that there's 3 different flaps. You're gonna take one, and we're not gonna match this edge to this edge. We're going to just make a small angle. So not right down straight in the middle. I'm just gonna make a small, acute angle. We also learned that right before we left school. So let's push it down. We have our angles, and then I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. So again, we have our one flap. I don't want to put it directly here, and since you already did it once, you just have to match it up. So I'm going to take this corner, this point, and match it to that point, and this edge and match it to that bottom edge, and I'm going to push it down. Now this step, I'm going to do kind of the same thing I did with the head, where I'm going to flip to the inside. I'm going to make a small, so I'll do that again. It looks like this. I'm going to take the inside and just kind of curve it in and push down. So it kind of makes a small triangle. So I'll show you again with the other side. I have this. We're not going to fold it outwards, not like this. We're going to fold it to the inside. So I'm going to take this and just, I'm going to move it to the edge. And again, because we did one side, I just kind of want to match it with my other side. Doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. Now we want the feet to be facing forward. So we have this right now, right? I'm gonna take one, and I'm gonna bring this flap just back out. So on the inside, it's just like a fold. We're just folding it in. So now I'm gonna do the same with the other side. I'm going to just fold it back so that I can't see it here anymore. I'm just gonna fold it back this way. And now I have my little dinosaur. Look at that. With the little arms. So now let's make sure that the split part is on the downside and this flap goes upwards. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this corner and bring it to the inside middle. So I'm gonna take this corner and fold it to the center here. I'm just gonna push down the creases. And I'm gonna do the same thing. Bring this corner and match it right up at the center and push it down. Now I'm gonna flip it over and do the same exact thing. So this corner, I'm gonna match it to this middle part. And this corner, I'm gonna match it to this middle part. And I want them to be equal. So this is kind of like our line of symmetry in the middle where both sides look the same, just reflected. So now we have a shape like this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open it up kind of and fold it this way. So I'm gonna have these two edges meet up. And then I'm gonna have the other two edges also meet up. So again, let me do that again. It looks like this. Oh no. Okay, so it looks like this. I'm gonna take this edge and bring it together. And then I'll do the same thing on this side. This edge and this edge, I'm gonna bring it together. And then when I flip it to the side, it gives me a shape like this. And I'm just gonna fold it down. And remember, we already made these creases, so you can tell that my folds are just folding down. If you made a small mistake in a fold, your fold might come out this way, but that's okay. We can fix that later. So we're gonna fold it down. And now we are gonna start assembling the wings. These are gonna be the wings. We're gonna bring it up. So again, it was down. We're gonna bring it up, and it kind of folds right up to the other two corners. I'm gonna flip it to the back and do the same exact thing. Fold it up. So now there's kind of like a line here. So and I have a shape like this. I'm going to kind of do the same thing. I'm gonna take my two edges here and fold it, bring it to the side, and these two edges and bring it down and push it down one more time. And now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna look at my fold or my origami piece, and I'm going to look to see which side can fold out. So if you try that with this side, it just kind of comes down, right? But when I use this side, it doesn't come down. So I'm gonna take the side that doesn't just come down. I'm gonna take both of them, and I'm just gonna pull it apart. I'm gonna pull it to the side, pull them to the side like this, and it makes this little balloon shape in the middle. And it's okay if it's smushing down. You can just push it out again. And you can choose, do you want this side to be the head, or if you want this side to be the head. I might take the side that's not as well folded, and I think this one isn't as well folded. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put my thumb, I'm gonna put my left thumb down by the neck. That's where our neck is gonna be. And I'm gonna take my right thumb and just push it down. I'm kind of pinching it down. So pushing it down, and then pinching using these two fingers up like this. So now I have a crane.